Okay, I'm going to just quickly walk through this criteria worksheet with you, just in case you're working independently or meeting with someone. I can help kind of clarify and explain what your job is and how you will complete this assignment. This is really important as it kind of wraps everything up together, your whole project, and many of these different criteria are how you're going to be evaluated. So you want to do a really thorough job with this assignment. And I want you to open this file up in Illustrator so that you'll be able to edit the text. This text, this lorem ipsum, it looks like it's Latin or something, but it's a filler text, so you can go in and edit and input your own response. You're welcome to type things in Microsoft Word or Pages first if you want to, but you're also welcome to type directly. First page will show you the criteria, and it'll this is kind of what area you'll be assessed on. And the first thing is to identify what the problem is, the design problem. So you'll need to talk about why there is an actual need for a solution, and you'll mention and talk about which client you chose. So for example, it could have been the Book Society would be a client, and you want to think about who is the target audience. You might have to do a little bit of research of looking at Book Society, coming up with a rationale for what type of audience are you really designing for. Um, these are adults going into a design fair. They are a small publication. Um, who are some of their clientele? Talk about your goals for your own publication. These are general goals, but you want to talk about how your publication meets the needs of the client. Then you want to also discuss a range of existing products. So what were some of the graphic publications that you looked at? And then what you'll do, you'll talk about those. You did this in your journal already, but you'll type some of these out. What did you look at? What are some of the graphic designers or other kind of products that you sought inspiration from? And then in this image gallery, you'll drag in some images. You can resize them so they all fit in here. Probably 3 is probably would suffice, but then you can link these, so you can talk about these in here and give me some images of the existing products that you looked at. And then this is your design brief, really. Some of this is going to be repetitive from the first page, about who is the client and target audience, what sort of media will be used, what's the intent and function of the publication, what personality does it convey. This is kind of a more exploratory answer. These may not be as long, but you'll need to include them in your design brief. And criteria B, this is the next section. You want to talk about the things that you did to develop your idea. So this would be a good place to put your trials, your initial ideas, some of the things that you created. Many of you created hard copy drafts. This would be a good place to put those images. Talk a little bit about those. What were your thinking behind them? Why do you make adjustments? What were some of your design ideas? Okay, this is where you will present your chosen design. So what you came up with, I included my gate example. You could talk about how you got to this point, and then you want to justify your reasons for doing what you did. So I might talk about, I might justify why I included these 8 sections and these 8 different colors and how they show how each gate is kind of equal in some sense based on the scale and size that I gave each one. I might want to also put up how that helped me, the viewer, open up the publication to the information. So they were going through the gate to then receive the information, but also showing that there are 8 different sections. I might talk about those kinds of things. Basically, tell us why you made your decisions for your design, and think about every single detail. leave no detail untraced. Talk about all your decisions that you made and justify them. This is a good chance for you to defend those ideas. Criteria C. These two aren't going to be, you're not going to type them out, but they're just ways that you're going to be evaluated, and those will be evaluated through your actual product that you've designed. And this part says fully justified changes made, so very similar. You might have some repetitive parts that you talk about here, but particularly changes. So as you made adjustments, talk about why you made certain adjustments. So maybe you were doing something that was a foldable object, but you realized you want to go back towards a more traditional zine. Talk about why you made those decisions. Include that section in here. And lastly, evaluate. What parts of this do you think were successful? Again, think about your target audience and your client, and then maybe ways that it can be improved. And then think about, this would be a good chance for us to share it with your partner and talk about maybe the impact it could have on your target audience. Is this something they could keep? Do you think they would visit the gates? What are some possible byproducts of someone receiving your own design? That might be kind of tricky to think about, but think about what you want your audience to be impacted by, and then that might kind of lead you to answer some of those questions. There's also a page at the very end if you want to include more photos or anything else at the very end, but that just gives you an idea of what you'll need to do for your criteria worksheet, and you'll need to do this once you're finished with everything. And as always, you can ask me if you need any help with this.